Hello, unlimited friends. Today I want to talk to you about deadlines. Deadlines kill dreams. Remember that. And I'm going to use my signature diagrams to explain to you why I say that. Hi, I'm ZMAHOON from ZMAHOON.com, and on this channel we talk about anything and everything that has to do with law of attraction as it applies to our lives in a practical manner. Because we all want unlimited lives. Okay, so let's get started. When you put a deadline on a dream or a goal, what you're basically doing is saying, I want this thing to happen by this date. So let's pick a date. Let's say that you are somebody who wants to double their business growth by the end of 2020. Or maybe you're somebody who wants to find a meaningful relationship by the end of 2020. Let's work with those two goals. The thing that happens with establishing a goal like that is that first of all, when you establish the goal and you think, oh my God, I have all these law of attraction tools and I'm going to visualize that into place. I'm going to visualize my bank account at the end of 2020. I'm going to visualize that partner by my side at the end of 2020. Well, when you do that, that feels really, really good. And when it feels good, it takes you up the emotional scale. Now, why is it important to go up the emotional scale, and what is the emotional scale? Well, the emotional scale is a really easy thing. It's lining up emotions from feelings that don't feel good all the way to feelings that feel good. So right at the bottom, we have something like despair or hopelessness, and right at the top, we have love and joy. Somewhere in between is worry and frustration. So basically, that's the emotional scale. All negative vibrations or emotions are below the worry line, between the worry line and despair, and all the positive feeling emotions are in between love and joy and worry. Okay, so now that we've established that, why is it important to go up the emotional scale? Well, it's important to go up the emotional scale because as we go up the emotional scale, we attract those events, people, places, and things that correspond to our vibration from the field of all possibilities. Because at the end of the day, if you believe in law of attraction, and I certainly believe in law of attraction, is that anything is possible. So all possibilities exist simultaneously. Remember that all possibilities exist simultaneously. But which one comes out of the field of all possibilities and becomes manifest in your life depends on your magnetic power. And the thing about your magnetic power is that we exude our magnetic power based on where we are on the emotional scale. So if you're over here on the emotional scale, you are attracting events that correspond to a feeling of being high on the emotional scale. So your emotional frequency or vibe acts like a magnet and attracts a good feeling event into your life, and that event becomes manifest from a low place on the emotional scale. So if you were over here and maybe this is anger, you're just going to attract more things that make you feel bad, because anger is not a good emotion. It's not a positive emotion. So this is how manifesting works basically. And if we want good things to happen to us, then what we need to do each and every time, what we need to do is we need to go up the emotional scale and do our attracting from here, above the worry line, in this region of the emotional scale. This is where we want to do all our manifesting from. When we manifest from below the emotional scale, the things that we manifest are not satisfying to us. So what happens when you establish a goal and you think that you're going to use everything that you've learned through your study of law of attraction and self-improvement and growth, you're going to use all those techniques in order to manifest what you want, and you've put a deadline on it. So let's put that deadline on our chart. So 2020. And there are so many options. So 2020, when 2020 rolls around, there are so many options in the field of all possibilities. There are so many different things that could happen. Each one of these red crosses or stars is a possibility that can be attracted and manifested in your life. So if you start attracting from a place of, let's say, anger, then you're just going to attract something in your life that is going to magnify that emotion of anger in your life. But when you go and attract from here, that feels good. So saying that I have all these tools, I'm going to manifest the love of my life by the end of 2020, or I'm going to double my business growth by the end of 2020, that feels really good. It takes you right up here on the emotional scale. And then you start doing the work. Let's say that you're visualizing, you are meditating, you're writing affirmations, you're doing all the processes that are recommended that keeps you excited about what's coming. But then you notice that nothing's happened. And let's say that you're sitting at the end of 2019 looking at 2020. So at first, when you start your work, it feels good. Here you are, it's December 2019 and it feels really good. You're still bipping along, doing really, really well. And then February rolls around and you're still able to maintain your vibration. You're doing pretty good. You're excited about what's coming. And then you get to July. Let's say you're in July now. Well, when you get to July, now you start thinking, oh my God, it's going to be the end of 2020 in 6 months and nothing's happened yet. I've been doing all these processes. Universe, where's my stuff? I haven't even gone on one date yet. I haven't even got one new order. Forget about doubling my business growth. And when that thought comes, when you start looking at this deadline and you see it drawing close, you dip immediately all the way down to hopelessness. And if you do nothing, you'll just stay there. And every day you'll wake up and you'll start crossing the lines on the calendar. You'll start crossing out the dates saying, okay, I'm getting close to the end of 2020 every day and nothing's happening. So that's going to make you feel as if all that work that you've done is for nothing. And this process of looking at a deadline and saying nothing has happened yet, that is what we call attachment. And attachment to the outcome is the one thing that keeps desired manifestations away. Attachment to the outcome is what keeps things from happening in our lives the way we want them to happen. So when you put a deadline on something, that's not a good way to go about doing things because it creates more attachment. Now, having said that, it depends where you are on the emotional scale. Before you set up the goal, notice that difference. Where were you before you set up the goal? Before you told yourself that you're going to manifest using law of attraction, where were you? Were you over here? Was life really, really good anyway? And if this goal happened, it would just magnify your joy. But if it didn't happen, it wouldn't matter at all. If you were over here when you set up the goal, then the possibility that that goal will actually manifest for you, even though you've put a date on it, is very high. But for those people who are over here, maybe over here, right? Things are not working the way they want them to. They are feeling not good about where they are. If your business is not where you want to see it, if you feel lonely and you feel, if you feel unsure about how things are going to change for you, then you're not over here, because doubt is not a positive feeling. Doubt is over here. It's above anger, but doubt is what leads to worry. It's right up there. So doubt, a place of doubt. Will this happen or will it not happen? Can I do this or can I not do this? If I do all these processes, will it make any difference? All of that is doubt. And when you send a vibration out from doubt, well, it's going into the field of all possibilities for sure, but it's not getting you what you want, because what you want is over here. You want the grand prize. You don't want these second and third and fourth and 10th best prizes. You want the grand prize, and the grand prize will evade you if you're not up here in a place of love, in a place of joy. So the difference is that if you give birth to a desire when you are over here, then you're already here and you're not using the goal as a condition to make you feel good. See what I said when I started? I said when you give birth to a goal and you tell yourself with all these law of attraction tools, I'm going to make this goal happen, that takes you up. But it's not because you were already up there that setting that intention made you go up there. The trick is staying up there without any assistance, without any condition making you feel that you are there. And that happens only when you're already happy. And that's why Abraham always says, the happier you are, the happier you are. The worse it gets, the worse it gets. We all know that. The worse it gets, the worse it gets. And that's because if you give birth to a desire from here, and then you stay here and you do nothing to change your vibration, then you're just going to attract more of the same. So having a deadline for those people who are very far away from their goal and it seems to them that the goal is difficult to achieve, then for those people having a deadline is actually building up fear. And what is fear? Is fear a positive vibration? Not at all. This is what I learned from being in a career in sales, is that those salespeople who are very close to their goal, they get excited when they're told, oh, you'll get this trophy at the end of the year, because they know that they are so close to achieving that trophy, getting that goal. So it excites them. It takes them up the emotional scale and opens the door to the field of all possibilities from the place of the grand prize. But those people who, like me, and I was there, look at that goal and it feels hard, it feels big. They don't get excited when they hear the goal. They don't get excited when they see the deadline for that goal approaching. It makes them feel even worse. It makes them feel smaller. It makes them feel as if they're incompetent. And all those feelings are negative. They are negative and they are not helpful in getting you to your goal. So what should you do? Well, first of all, you should really pay attention to how you're feeling. You should really know where you are on the emotional scale. So I'm just going to use this stick now as my emotional scale. It would be really helpful for you to be able to ask yourself, do I really feel like a 10 today? Or do I feel like a 1? Or am I a 5? Know where you are. And when the answer comes, you're a 4 today, then do something about shifting your place on the emotional scale. Because when you're high on the emotional scale, everything in your life becomes positive and good things start happening, not only on the relationship front and the business front, but people become nicer. Your neighbors bring you gifts. Your in-laws call you and want to have you over for dinner and you're basking in all the gifts that the universe brings you. Right? That's why the only objective ever is to go up the emotional scale. Now, yes, we live in this world and we do want things to happen at a certain time. So what do? So first thing is appreciate your way, go up the emotional scale. That's how you get to the top of the emotional scale, by using tools like meditation and appreciation. Visualization is not a good tool in this kind of a situation if you are low on the emotional scale. Go and check out my video on visualization and I'll post a link to it below as well. If for those people who are below the worry line, visualization is not the appropriate tool. But for those people who are above the worry line, visualization is a very good tool. And for those people who know that they are here, and how do you know that you're here? One of the indications is that you're feeling no movement forward. You're feeling as if you're kind of stuck in life. That means you're below the worry line. If something's been waiting to happen for more than a year or two, that means you're below the worry line. If you look at other people and you don't like that they have what you have, then you are below the worry line and you need to do the work in order to improve your vibration and go up. And that work is meditation, most of all, and appreciation. Those are the only two things you need. Visualization can be done, but you have to be careful not to relate it to your goal. Because the minute you relate your visualization to the goal, you create more attachment. So when you create attachment, you are now pushing that thing that you want, you're pushing it further away from you. You're not bringing it closer. And that's what goes wrong with a lot of people trying to do all of this law of attraction stuff. Because there are so many teachers who are well-meaning, I'm sure, but they don't understand vibration. So they're not teaching you, they're teaching you to do the action without teaching you how to shift your vibration. And that's the difference that I want to make for you here. So listen closely, because I'm going to give you the answer that is going to help you to get the things that you want. And it's so simple. It is so simple. All you have to do is to change the way you talk to yourself about your goal. And instead of saying, I want to double my business by the end of 2020, or I want to manifest a meaningful relationship by the end of 2020, start saying, wouldn't it be nice if I could double my business by the end of 2020? Wouldn't it be nice if I could manifest a wonderful, satisfying relationship by the end of 2020? You know why those words are really powerful? Because you're not creating attachment. You're saying, wouldn't it be nice? But I'm not going to lay myself down and die if it doesn't happen. So the attachment, even though you still have the goal, even though you still have the date, but you don't have the attachment. And that is the beauty of using the words, wouldn't it be nice if? So make these words part of the way you talk. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody did something nice for me today? Wouldn't it be nice if the traffic was running smoothly on my way to work? Wouldn't it be nice if I had a fantastic appointment with my client and I got lots of business? Wouldn't it be nice if? So, whenever you establish a goal, regardless of where you are on the emotional scale, you see, knowing where you are on the emotional scale is useful because you can always bump yourself up the scale. But even more than that, just becoming an appreciator is more important because we go up and down the emotional scale all the time, and you're going to turn into a crazy person if you're always trying to decide where you are on the emotional scale. Instead, just become someone who appreciates by default. I appreciate my neighbor, I appreciate this person and this thing on my desk and this bookmark, and I appreciate so many things. Because if you constantly generate the vibration of appreciation, you don't have to ask yourself where you are on the emotional scale because you'll always be up here. You'll always be in this region, the topmost or the top half of the emotional scale. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, so now you have the tools that you need. Let's summarize. First of all, setting a deadline from a low place on the emotional scale creates attachment to the outcome and therefore pushes things away. Number two, if you still have a deadline, maybe because of work or because of any other reason, do the work first to go up the emotional scale and disconnect attachment from the goal by using the words, wouldn't it be nice if this happened? Make sense? All right then, I think you're well equipped and I think I can stop now. What I would really love is for you to leave me a comment to let me know that you got the message that I wanted to give you. And so if you could comment below with the words, wouldn't it be nice if, I would really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me today. And before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on that notification bell so that I can send you an invitation to come back again. Take care in the meantime, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.